Hello everyone and welcome to a game between WFZ, or rather WFZ, and Side. This game taking place here on Twisted Meadows. WFZ spawning as the orange undead on the top left hand side of the map. Meanwhile Side spawning as the teal human over here on the bottom right. Interesting choices on races. If you guys have been following, I don't believe Side is normally playing human. Remember him playing undead. So many players to try and keep track of, and you'll have to forgive me if I misspeak sometimes on player choices and player races, as players do often rotate what they try and play. And if I am out of date and old on my information, just remember, well, I'm old. Anyways, let's go ahead and break things down in this human versus undead matchup here on the bottom right. We are looking at an Archmage going up against, well, a Dreadlord. Dreadlord, not your typical hero in this situation, and I am wondering what the Dreadlord plans to do here, knowing that there is this Goblin Laboratory shop right off to the north. It is possible to try and clear out this creep camp and then kind of trap that rock golem here with a blade master, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Instead, the Dreadlord is gonna be heading out across the map. Oh yeah, of course you couldn't trap a rock golem with sleep. It is immune to magic. Quick Essence of Blight, or Blight being placed down by that sacrificial skull. Essence of Blight is a, well, obsidian statue ability, as we're looking at the Forest Troll Trapper now getting cleaned up. Sleep has come to an end, but Bloodlust was not cast across multiple targets, as we're looking at a Scouting Footman now make its way over here to the top right. Meanwhile, Archmage has finished clearing out on the bottom right hand side of the map. Side now setting up a scout farm quickly, and perhaps going to try and militia clear out the bottom left. Side is reacting to his opponent trying to do an expo by setting up an expo of his own. So that should work out well. Alright, bottom left-hand side, Archmage summons up a Water Elemental. Water Elemental already ensnared, unfortunately. Bloodlust onto a single Forest Troll Trapper, as the Militia now getting cleared up here. Alright, trying to clear out these remainder Forest Troll Trappers. Ogre Magi should at some point Bloodlust himself. No, goes after the other Ogre Warrior first, and the Archmage should be very close, if not up to level 3. Yeah, up to level 3 already. Has a Ring of the Archmagi and a Circlet of Nobility, getting +5 to every single stat. Both sides have bases already being established. I'm trying to get that fast expansion up and running, get that additional resources, those additional resources and economy, as the Skeletal Warrior now making its way over here to the bottom left. Can the Archmage perhaps push off to the north here, clear out this Null Overseer creep camp? Meanwhile, the Archmage going to try and put some pressure inside of this top left base here. Alright, Graveyard, no tech to tier 2, since we are trying to establish that expansion over here at the northern position. No Necropolis. Ziggurat already upgrading to a Nerubian Tower, as the Graveyard now quickly being cancelled. Archmage may be able to summon up a second Water Elemental here in just a moment. So, first Water Elemental still has 9 seconds of cooldown timing remain, as the Dreadlord now wanders on over. Are we going to see some sleeps? Are we going to get some easy kills on Ghouls and Footmen? That is the question at hand, as one Nerubian Tower is really not enough to try and defend. Acolytes now hurrying back home to try and get a bit of additional gold, as the Dreadlord gets up to level 3, and with a level 2 Carrion Swarm, really pressured with a lot more damage than I believe Side was expecting. Side should know this Dreadlord play. Side's Dreadlord play was actually very, very common early on, as now we're going to look at WFZ being forced to, well, summon up additional Acolytes galore. Meanwhile, over here on the top right-hand side, another Acolyte getting cleaned up here. Nothing mining over here on the top right, as there are still new Water Elementals popping on up to try and prevent this. Alright, Dreadlord is sitting at level 3. The Footmen have all backed away. They are afraid of that level 2 Carrion Swarm. which really does stack up once you hit more than 3 or 4 targets. That sudden burst damage, and then you find all of your units in the orange, yellow, or red is a very big deterrent. And now WFZ setting up, well, 6/5 supply here, getting up a Necropolis, trying to expand that Blight as well as we've rotated back off to the main base. Now, this is something I've often wanted to see, as Side is normally an undead player. Does he know the timings and the weaknesses of when well, an undead player is trying to expo? And it looks like Side is doing exactly that. Side is finding himself constantly in a position to put pressure on the main base, as the tech to tier 2 is significantly delayed, and Side is already nearing tier 2 already. Archmage, oh, getting forced asleep again. Now going to use a Scroll of Town Portal to head back away, interestingly enough, as the footmen now all gather together. WFZ now taking this opportunity, knowing that he is behind in tech, quickly canceling that 6th Acolyte and trying to get that tech to tier 2 going. Side on the southern side here has picked up a Goblin Shredder. He is now speed building an Arcane Vault and is most likely going to try and rinse and repeat with that strategy. Scroll of Regeneration, perhaps a Clarity Potion. A Scroll of Town Portal would be icing on the cake, as Side does tech to tier 2 at just the right time, picking that up there. Meanwhile, Dreadlord of WFZ sitting at level 3, and now that Dreadlord is going to feel alone for a little bit, as the Archmage is already teching the castle. Now, Archmage does drop a Water Elemental, going to try and go ahead and fight back around, and there is a Panda there, Breath of Fire, and this is going to be a problem for WFZ. Side now with a Brewmaster could rack up a lot of AoE damage across all of these low hit point units. However, the Archmage is in a little bit of trouble, a lot of trouble, down to 74 hit points, 53 hit points. Going to try and retreat back out. Dreadlord, is he going to get taken down? Yes, he does. Dreadlord falls at level 3. He went all in against the Archmage and got caught. All right, there's a Clarity Potion. Buys another Clarity Potion as well. May that be given to the Panda? That is the question. Yes, Clarity Potion on the Panda. And now Side has a perfect window of opportunity to punish WFZ. Now, Side sitting at 47 supply compared to WFZ's 36. WFZ is sitting on 1,100 gold, but is actually a bit lumber limited. He needs to train up a second hero. He wants to train up Crypt Fiends. He's double queued up Unholy Strength and Unholy Armor, and he wants to tech to tier 3 while getting that Slaughterhouse. All of that is very lumber intensive. And, well, that's going to translate into WFZ perhaps spending more on consumable potions and scrolls for these upcoming battles. All right, Acolyte about to get taken down. 1 or 2 more shots should finish it off right there. What's going on here? How is that Acolyte able to dance around as much as he has, as the Archmage here could summon up some additional Water Elementals. Water Elementals trying to go after all of these units here. Nerubian Tower suffering quite a bit of damage. Archmage does need a retreat back. The Spirit Towers are now focusing onto the Archmage, and this is definitely a weakest link scenario, trying to figure out which link in the human army is the weakest, and if you can cause that to break, perhaps a Scroll of Town Portal you can force from WFZ. All right, more damage. Ghoul getting, well, actually, waylaid from the back by that Brewmaster there. Up and running on 2 bases. Side has pretty much already cleared out a majority of the lumber at this natural expansion. Meanwhile, triple Water Elemental is able to put down a lot of pressure, but the time life will not allow 3 Water Elementals to stick around together for that long. Death Knight now also queued up as well. Death Coil at level 1. Most likely going to be trying to heal up some units, as the flying machines want to engage against some of these, well, gargoyles. Gargoyles, excuse me, however, do deal decent damage, 61 to 70 melee damage, if they can actually find their target. Those creeps joining in on the fight. Side taking in a little bit of unnecessary damage, or rather a damage which he was not compensated, not able to get any additional gold creeps or anything of that nature, as the Dreadlord is here. Fly Machines, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across multiple units. Dreadlord trying to retreat back, very low on hit points. That Dreadlord is, as he, well, sorry, but also very close to level 4. Dreadlord could turn back around, perhaps get another Carrion Swarm here, take down a Footman, and perhaps put multiple in the red. That's what I'm waiting for, but we haven't seen that yet. Carrion Swarm actually misses that Footman, who somehow stays alive after all that time. Death Knight still alive here. Are we going to see a Death Coil? No, we are not, as the Paladin now shows up as the third and final human hero. All right, Paladin wants to get in some holy lights here. Death Knight constantly getting blocked out, separated from the rest of the army, as we see a Breath of Fire now go through. Dual Water Elementals trying to finish off those gargoyles. Meanwhile, Archmage is forced to use the Scroll of Town Portal early. There's a holy light, and the Panda unable to get a Breath of Fire across. Multiple Footmen now retreating back home. Meanwhile, Death Knight of WFZ using this opportunity to clear out this orange creep camp. 62 supply compared to 43. Side has the economic advantage. Side has the hero level advantage, but WFZ is not out of this game yet. He's going to need to trade efficiently in these upcoming battles, perhaps even try and take down that Expo in the bottom left, or punish these production buildings here. Side has momentum on his side, but, well, we know that having momentum isn't enough to always take the game. Water Elemental now being placed down here. There you are, that low hit point Footman, glad that he is still alive, down to 12 hit points, as still joining in on the battle here. Water Elemental down to 53 hit points, could end up getting taken down, and if he gets taken down, a couple of Footmen could go down with it. There's one, there's two. Losing 2 Footmen unnecessarily, that is a big switch there. Side not paying attention, or perhaps not caring, knowing that he is now upgrading and transitioning into Knights. All right, 54 supply compared to 78. Side high on lumber, low on gold. Opposite situation for WFZ, high on gold, low on lumber, as he needs to clear out more of this, this forest line here, and train up more units and perhaps get in a little bit more buildings. All right, Ogre Warrior here, Brewmaster here. We're looking at an engagement, perhaps a Breath of Fire going down across Panda and Paladin now working together. Archmage purposely backing away, not wanting to steal any of that precious experience. Side can now venture forth, build up a bank of gold, and put on a pressure with his current army. Meanwhile, Death Knight and Dreadlord being forced to retreat back, as the Archmage sees this as an opportunity to try and clear out a red creep camp, only to find out that WFZ has already done so. The Scroll of Town Portal has also brought back WFZ, forcing these siege engines to return back home. Level 4, level 2, level 1 going up against a level 4, level 2, level 2. Well, for all intent and purposes, these hero levels are rather similar, but, well, with the siege engines here, we could see a lot of damage getting racked up against these Nerubian towers, and perhaps these speed towers or some of these other towers as well. Water Elemental units continuing to try and retreat back. No Breath of Fire across all of these units here. Siege engine trying to barrel down against these spirit towers. No such luck, and they fall too. Archmage, well, Side apparently, well, taking a play out of Moon's playbook. You can never have enough expansions, as Side takes up this 3 o'clock Expo location. We can see Side has set up multiple workshops here, can go for triple siege engines or triple flying machines, but we're seeing some big damage against those siege engines, trying to find a way to shut them down. Brewmaster now looking to fall back here. There goes another sleep. Archmage says, you know what? No sleeping on the job. I'm teleporting you back home. You are going to get back up to full hit points, as the gargoyles are now giving chase here. Gargoyle could try and get one or Water Elemental could try and get 1 or 2 shots off here. Panda now asleep at the wheel. He's going to find himself wake up as completely surrounded by all of these units, and we're going to have a battle on our hand. 80 supply compared to 59. WFZ still in a great, still in an okay spot. He could perhaps try and burst down some of these heroes, but Side is the one in dominant control, winning on multiple fronts. Hero level advantage and army size advantage. It should continue to translate and push forward into more and more advantages here. All right, another Crypt Fiend about to get taken down. Panda now gets up to level 3. Are we perhaps going to be looking at level 2 Breath of Fire against all of these units here, as the Death Knight sitting at level 2 does pick up a Staff of Silence. All right. Going up against all of these units. Another Breath of Fire against these units here could make a big difference. Level 3 now on the Death Knight with a 400 hit point heal. It may not be worth, as we see a quick Death Coil, Frost Nova, Staff of Sanctuary saving that unit there. Breath of Fire blowing over that Lich in a matter of seconds. Carrion Swarm taking down that last mortar team here as the units try to retreat back home. Dreadlord nearly at level 5. Death Knight just getting to level 3. As the Archmage, Panda, and Paladin finding a perfect opportunity to clear out this Ogre, Forest Troll, Warlord creep camp. It is going to be 3 bases compared to 3 bases. Main mining bases still have 6 minutes of mining left overall. 4 minutes of mining left for Side. It appears as though WFZ had to pull off Acolytes throughout this game, and that's why there's that economic disparity. Coming back through, Knights with Curse going to occasionally miss their targets. Water Elemental trying to take some damage. Archmage, Paladin needs to get to level 3 and will get there off of this creep camp. And once that is the case, perhaps the Archmage will join in, perhaps trying to go for even more. Staff of Sanctuary being transferred over. There's level 3 now on that Panda, or excuse me, Paladin, level 3 on the Panda as well. As he was there first and now trying to perhaps blow this game wide open. Archmage has picked up, well, it looked like he picked up a Clarity Potion, has a new Staff of Sanctuary. The original one was given to the Brewmaster, if you remember, moments ago, and now they're going to try and engage. There are triple mortar teams in the back. A surprise that Side isn't using the Staff of Sanctuary on a low hit point Knight now, just to get it out of the way completely. There goes a Death Coil onto a mortar team. There's a Holy Light. But wow, that bit of damage did find its target rather easily. Water Elemental turning into a puddle of water. Meanwhile, Death Knight could find the mortar team one more Death Coil. That's going to finish off. No, Scroll of Healing, able to bait it, followed by a Staff of Sanctuary. Death Knight losing the mana and doesn't have much to show for it. Dreadlord now showing up into the backline, trying to finish off all those units. Scroll of Protection, Scroll of Healing, trying to keep those units alive. Death Coil now keeping the Dreadlord alive as the Gargoyle gets taken down. 75 supply compared to 63. Death Knight now forced to try and retreat back. Are we going to see the death of a Lich? No, we are not. Able to escape at 40 some odd hit points with anti-magic shell and, well, Essence of Blight regenerating a good amount of hit points. 79 supply compared to 64. Side is trying to find a way to close out this game with him as the victor. Meanwhile, WFZ is hoping to just trade efficiently and then build up a large enough army come back with that hero level advantage and then close out this game. All right, heroes coming across here. We're going to look at a Breath of Fire. There's a Breath of Fire. No Drunken Haze that I can see. No, there was the Drunken Haze Breath of Fire. Both sides still fighting their way through. Mortar teams trying to find their targets. Staff of Sanctuaries teleporting units constantly back home as the Archmage says, you know what? I want no part in this fight at all. Get me out of here. 82 supply compared to 60. I would be surprised if Side stays in low upkeep, decides against it. Now sitting at 2,000 gold and 1,500 hit points. Now, Side may purposely just want to stay at low upkeep. Getting 14 gold a second off of, or excuse me, 21 gold a second off of 3 bases is not bad, especially with Side setting up a new third base here on the bottom left. Meanwhile, WFZ is still, well, attempting to test the waters, and he's going to end up losing a Goblin Shredder to a Ghoul, which does end up giving experience to the undead heroes. This game is still incredibly close. No level 5 heroes for Side. Meanwhile, WFZ has a level 5 hero, but no level 4 heroes, with the Death Knight trailing at level 3, nearing level 4. Units getting to venture forth, perhaps put pressure on to this 2 o'clock Expo starting location. About to be pressured in on here heavily. Brewmaster, well, also coming across here. There's that Staff of Sanctuary. Here we are. Here we go. Trying to finish things off. Where are the units going to land? And they are going to land over here on the bottom left. Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire across multiple units. Carrion Swarm ripping through the human army. Mortar teams trying to lob attacks against the undead army here as the units are still retreating back. Gargoyles are going up against the Fly Machines. Fly Machines don't stand the chance in even numbers, and that is a problem, as with no more Fly Machines, perhaps we'll see a transition into Destroyers and start picking off some of those backline mortar teams. Are we also looking at some more Devour magic here? I don't think so. Archmage trying to push his way back off to the north, going after all of these units. Mortar teams able to take down the Necropolis here. There it goes, and perhaps go after the Haunted Gold Mine. Going after the Haunted Gold Mine, a little bit of a risky behavior. There's another Breath of Fire. Fly Machine quickly getting taken down, trying to take down the Haunted Gold Mine, who's holding steady at 30 hit points, and it looks like it is no longer being pressured. Archmage trying to push back the other way. Did Side make a critical mistake in this battle here by trying to go after other things other than the buildings? All right, Haunted Gold Mine down to 70 hit points, down to 44. 2 or 1 more shot should do it. The Haunted Gold Mine is taken down. Breath of Fire, and now suddenly the Dreadlord is going to get taken down. No. Tomb of Relics providing a potion of healing just in time. There's some more Carrion Swarm ripping down across multiple units. Death Knight still has plenty of mana. Death Coils the Dreadlord to heal back up to 400 hit points. All right. With no ensnares, only the Archmage can really do any damage. 1 more shot, yes, that Destroyer was taken down. Archmage gets up to level 5, opts to go for level 3 Brilliance Aura over level 2 water or level 3 Water Elementals, and Side still has the extra Expo going. Main bases nearly mined out. WFZ not having enough here at this 3 o'clock starting location. And not quite sure what I'm looking at here. I don't know how I see here, but apparently I do. Oh, it could have been a reveal. All right.
A player's forces are under attack.
Back off to the north here. Archmage getting ready to push on in. Orb of Fire. Here comes that pressure. Fly Machines do not have the bomb upgrades, but, well, you know that they could play a factor in this later game. More Sides pushing on through. The Spirit Tower is getting cleaned up. There goes 1 Spirit Tower. 2nd Spirit Tower now cleaned up. Last Ziggurat remaining. 52 supply compared to 50. And it would take an absolute Christmas miracle now for Side to lose this game. WFZ needs to figure out a way to win this here. Dreadlord with Carrion Swarm at level 3, and perhaps a Side asleep at the wheel. If Side is asleep at the wheel, the Carrion Swarms could rip out and remove that entire murder of air units right there. There goes 1 right there. Still not enough, but still looking to, well, put in pressure. We are looking at triple Staff of Sanctuaries by the human army, constantly being able to save low hit point units by sending them back home and waiting for them to be able to recover as well. Dreadlord sitting at level 4. Or level 5. Death Knight sitting at level 4. Lich is at level 3, going up against a 5-4-4. Side still having a sizable hero level lead, but the Carrion Swarm seems to be doing much more damage than that Breath of Fire. Side does have fully upgraded Knights. Units now making their way back across here. 50 over 30 supply. Main gold mine has been mined out. Expo gold mine no longer being mined. and new Expo gold mine not being mined either. Starving out your opponent to avoid conflict is generally a good thing. Panda could turn back around, perhaps Breath of Fire all of these gargoyles, instead losing one flying machine to his opponent, as the Breath of Fire Brewmaster could deal a good amount of damage. 255 some odd hit points, Breath of Fire, Drunken Haze, Breath of Fire, and then rinse and repeat, as the Brilliance Aura is there to funnel in more mana for that Brewmaster. All right, there's that engagement there. There's some lobs from the mortar teams. They're looking to put in pressure here again and again. There's that damaged knight gets taken down. That's going to be a problem. Another knight being saved instead. Carrion Swarm ripping on through. Flying machines getting Staff of Teleportation back home. Brewmaster still trying to chase after all of these units even with that. And WFZ says, you know what? There's nothing I can do to win the game. Side is victorious. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this this matchup here. WFZ versus Side, human versus undead.